Okay. Okay, so now we're going to put all of everything that we've learned for factoring together. Okay. And we're going to work some examples using all of the methods that we've learned. Okay, so up and up, factoring has been a bit organized. We are ready to mix it up. Follow the guide below to help you through the factoring process. Okay. Check for one of the following. First things first, always check for the GCF. Then you check for one of the following. Is it a difference of squares? Is it a basic trinomial where it's just x squared? Okay, and that's where, and then you do the slip and slide. I don't normally do that one. I will work it as just going straight to grouping. Okay. Or at this point, you're also going to do the product sum box. Product sum and or factoring box. Looks like this, and you have the first and the last, and then this is made up of the factors that are found, which is these two numbers here. Okay, with the variable. All right, so let's just work some examples. That's going to be the easiest way to kind of go through this. All right, so we're going to look at number 4. Okay. Excuse me. First things first, I'm going to look, do I see a GCF? No GCF. So at this point, I go through and I'm going to do my product sum box, which means I'm doing, that's too flat of an X. 4 times -2, which gives me -8. And then I have a sum of 7. Okay, so that's going to be factors of 8 and -1. So now I'm going to set this up as 4 terms instead of doing the factoring box. I'm going to set this up as 4y squared plus 8y minus 1y minus 2. If you want to do the factoring box, you're more than welcome to. I just find this is just now easier flow of work steps, but it's your choice. Now I divide in half and I factor out the GCF from the first half, which is going to be 4y. So that's going to give me 4y open parentheses, 2y plus 2. Now, this is just y, not 2y, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. It's the end of the day. And over here, because these are both negative, I'm going to factor out a -1, and then I'm left with y plus 2. And now I can see, oh, yes, I've got the same thing inside my parentheses. So therefore, I'm going to have 4y minus 1 in one set of parentheses and y plus 2 in another. And there's my final answer. And to check, you would multiply it back. Okay, next example. Moving right along, we're going to look at number 7. Okay, again, first things first, I'm looking for a GCF first. And my GCF is 4x squared, which means I'm going to have to divide each one of these by 4x squared. So I'm going to now have 4x squared, open parentheses, 2x squared minus x minus 6. And now at this point, I now have a trinomial. So I'm going to do the product sum box now. So I have 2 times -6, which gives me -12, and -1. So That's going to be -4 and 3. And again, if you don't see the factors right away, punch it in the calculator, list what they are. Okay, so I'm going to remember that my GCF is 4x squared. Okay. So now over here, I'm going to factor this part. So I'm going to have 2x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 6. And now I do each half. So this is going to have a GCF of 2x. So I'm going to have 2x open parentheses. And then 2x squared divided by 2x leaves me with x minus 2. And then over here, my GCF is a 3. So I write plus 3, and I'm factoring 3x divided by 3 is x. -6 divided by 3 is -2. And we notice this is the same. So we have 2x plus 3 times x minus 2. Now we got to remember, this is not my final answer. I have my GCF that I have to write. So my final answer is 4x squared, open parentheses, 2x plus 3 times x minus 2 in parentheses. This is my final answer. Common mistake to forget that GCF. Okay, next example. I'm getting there. Just patience with me, please. Okay, next page. Okay. There's one stuck together for me today. Okay, number 12. Again, remember the first thing that we look for is to see, is there a GCF? Actually, I'm not going to do number 12. I'm going to do number 11. Forget number 12. Number 12, we've done one like already. So I'm going to look at number 11. When I look at this, first off, I notice that there's a GCF of A. So therefore, I'm going to divide by A to each one. So I have A, open parentheses, B squared minus 1. Now I can see, oh, this is a differences of squares. So that means I'm going to have A, open parentheses, B, and I take the square root of each term. I have B plus 1, B minus 1. And there's my final answer. Okay, moving on, let's go to number 17. 17 is just like, I'm trying to think if there's anything. Well, I'm going to scratch 17 and let's look at 16. No, 19. We're going to do 19. Because 19 throws in 2 variables here. So again, we're looking for our GCF. And the GCF is, it's got a 5. They both have an X and they both have a Y. So the GCF is 5XY. So divide by 5XY. So I have 5XY, and then we write what's left. 5's cancel. So we have X squared. The Y's cancel. Minus the 5's cancel, the x's cancel, the y's. Oh, this is actually an easier problem. Okay, so now, again, I have a differences of squares. So I'm going to have 5xy, open parentheses, x plus 1, x minus 1. And there's my final answer. Okay. Excuse me. Let's look at 22. Okay, this is a trinomial. I'm first looking to see, is there a GCF? Yes, my GCF. I can divide each one of these by 3. I'm going to have 3, open parentheses, 25x squared minus 10x plus 1. Now I've got to factor this trinomial that's in the middle right here. So I do the product sum box, 25 times 1, so that's 25, and -10, so that's going to be -5 and -5. So I'm going to have 3, open bracket or parentheses, whichever one you want to do, and I'm going to have 25x squared minus 5x minus 5x plus 1, close parentheses. And now I have to factor this trinomial that's in the middle. So I have to do the first half. So that's going to give me, my GCF is 5. So I'm going to have 5. X is my GCF. So, and then I'm going to be left with X minus 1. And then over here, I'm going to factor out a -1. And the reason for that is because I want to end up with X minus 1. So when I factor out a -1, I have a 5X, a positive 5X minus 1. And remember, all of that has this GCF of 3 on the outside. Now, excuse me, the final answer is going to be, because this is my GCF of here. No, that's not supposed to be 5. Ooh, Kimberly, pay attention. What did I miss, guys? Here we go. This right here, 25x squared divided by 5. That gives me a 5x on the outside. So I'm factoring out a 5x. It's supposed to be 5x. So this leaves 5x in here, 5x minus 1. So now my final answer is going to be 3 open parentheses, 5x minus 1 times 5x minus 1. But wait a minute. I'm still looking at this. These are both the same. So I can write the final answer as 3 open parentheses, 5x minus 1 squared. This is the correct final notation. All right, this is just all examples of mixing all of the processes together. If you've got questions, make sure that you ask or pause and rewind. Have a great day.